All right, Gilbert, let's get to the LA betting market. We'll start off with the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams are 8-point favorites. The over under here is 47.5. What are the numbers saying here? And I think the Rams are 8-4 against the spread this season now after their loss to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, since we're on live here, promo to our House of Horns guests, we're gonna break down this game in a bit when we're done here. Cardinals Rams. I don't know how we're gonna fill time with this game because the Cardinals are boring, and maybe you could talk about how I overrated them in the offseason, and now
Mhm.
I'm looking like a fool. But yeah, the Cardinals are just not a good team. I get the number here. It probably would have been over 10 if the Rams didn't lose to the Panthers a week ago. So there could be some danger here because Jacoby Brissett has actually been on fire, and the Rams secondary came back down to earth last week. We'll see if MHJ is going to play, but Michael Wilson stepped up when he was out. Greg Dortch stepped up. They still got Trey McBride. Like Brissett has been that good to the point where don't bring back Kyler Murray, and then if you don't want to draft the quarterback, make him your bridge guy for a year. Like he's been that good. The coaches, I don't know if the coaching staff is going to make it this year, but they finally found something with him. So now, with that being said, I still think the Rams are going to hold it down here. They're going to be pissed off. Divisional matchup, like again, everything's in front of the Rams for the taking. They kind of blew it last week and they fell a step back, and I still think it's going to hurt them at the end of the day. But you can't lose a divisional game. You can't lose to another NFC team. It's all about tiebreakers this time of year when you're in the position that you're in for the Rams. So go destroy this team. Be pissed off. Go get a divisional matchup. Improve your record to I think 3-1. They lost to the 49ers. So I'll take the Rams here. I'll lay the point. That's a lot of points. I got burned last week. You did not. You said it's gonna be close. So yeah, I don't know what you're thinking we're here for this one, Vic, but the Cardinals are just out of it.
The only thing I can think of here, Gilbert, is the fact that the Cardinals blew out the Rams in Arizona last week. It was like the second game of the year,
Yeah,
and
last year.
yeah, last year, right? And so that was with, that was with Kyler Murray, and that was with other guys there, and at the beginning of the season. So that's the only thing that I can tell you. Well, maybe this game stays close. I just don't see it. Um, and one of the little tidbits, talking about kind of promoting the interview that we had with Eric Williams on Compas on the Beat yesterday. He talked about the fact that one of the things with Sean McVay and how prepared he has this team is the fact that they don't get blown out, like they're in every game, right? And so that is one of the things that I've seen from this team this year is like when they step on them, they make sure that they blow them out. Now, last week was, it was a bunch of different things. You can make excuses. You can't have uh Matthew Stafford throwing the ball away and having a pick six and stuff like that. And it was a close game. They had a chance to tie it and perhaps win it down the stretch there. So we know that they're going to be around. I just don't see it this week. I feel like Arizona has pretty much, they packed it in. I thought maybe once they went to Brissett that they were gonna, you know, give Jonathan Gannon a fighting chance, kind of like what we see with Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. But ever since the whole thing with the Mercado, it just feels like this team just was done with Jonathan Gannon, and now they're just playing out the rest of the schedule. So I'm with you. I'm taking the Cardinals here, and give me the points here as well. I think it might be one of those blowouts where I one thing that I know from Sean McVay is he remembers those blowout losses. I
Yeah.
would not be surprised if he returns a favor here.
That was a rare blowout loss, like you mentioned, and
Yeah.
last thing, like Brissett's quarterback play has been so much better than Kyler Murray, and they're still losing games. So this team
Yeah.
has no hope here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Jorge, we have not talked about the Chargers yet, and guess what? That is where we're going next. With our LA betting market game here. We're going to Los Angeles here. We're staying here in Los Angeles, I should say. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to the Chargers here. The Eagles are 3-point favorites. The over under here is 40 and a half. Gilbert, what are the numbers saying in this matchup? I want to be completely honest with you here. I am surprised this line isn't bigger than that because we don't know if Herbert is playing. So I want to know why that line is only 3.
Yeah, I don't know if again, John Murray, the odds maker for the Westgate, was trying to tell me something that he knew that the public doesn't know. Because usually the odds makers kind of have some more insight. They prepare. They also shift the line just in case something happens. They like to be ahead of it. So I think this line is more reflective of Trey Lance probably playing or Justin Herbert not being 100%. So that's why they are +3. But which tells me like Philadelphia probably might have been the dog here if Herbert was healthy. Like so people are losing faith in Philadelphia. It's just a thing to me. Is like John kept saying it seems like Trey Lance is going to play. Trey Lance, and then all you hear from the Chargers is like, no, Herbert's going to try his best to play. Herbert's going to try his best to play. So like, I'm just going to put it out there. Don't be shocked if they do a switch come Saturday, saying no, they're going to play it safe. They'd rather go with Trey Lance, and it happens a lot, especially for Monday night games. Like, and it's a competitive advantage. Like, you don't want to say what you're really thinking until Philly. Yeah, we're going to go with Trey Lance the whole week. Like no, make them think it's a good shot for Herbert. Herbert spoke to the media. Harbaugh saying everything. So I could be wrong, but I'm starting to get the sense that we might see Trey Lance out there on Monday. The odds makers are protecting themselves by going +3. Chargers a home team against an Eagles team that's out of sorts offensively. They just got destroyed against the run, and I know there's no maybe there'll be Omar Hampton. I don't know yet, but they ran the football pretty well a week ago, regardless. So this probably could have been a pick'em game. Maybe Chargers -3 or -2.5 if Herbert was healthy, but I'm getting a sense that he's not really that healthy, and they might protect him to give him 1 week to get his hand adjusted. But he's a gamer. He's tough, so I could definitely could be wrong on my hunch here or my guess here. But why would it be so wrong to play Trey Lance either? Like, run the damn football. You just saw what the Bears did to Philly here. He's a little more. He's mobile, or actually more mobile than Herbert. I know Herbert is mobile himself, but just get a bunch of play action and run and put a bunch of hands off here for the running back committee here. So if Herbert, say Herbert is healthy enough to play, like, are you gonna put him out there or risk more injury against a very good front, against a very good Eagles defense? And I think there could be limitations to playing under center with that hand or even shotgun, just trying to catch a football, like have it in your hand to give it to another player. Maybe there's a guy coming off, your whatever side. You have to move the ball to a different hand to kind of protect the ball. It's just like people are making it seem like it's not a big deal. Maybe it's not as bad as Daniel Jones with the broken leg or fractured leg, but it's gonna be limitations, which makes me feel like they might just say, "F it, let's go Trey Lance here." That's kind of be my bold prediction there, but uh, I'm gonna take the Eagles. I know people are gonna boo me here for that one, but I'll take the Eagles here. They're also, you know, they are also desperate. I think they need one. They are on a 2-game losing streak. I think this team is better than what they've shown. I think the defense maybe was just bad for 1 week. Maybe they got caught off guard. So I know Philly right now is laying the points as a road favorite here, but I'll take the Eagles here.
Yeah, and I think part of it too, Gilbert, is that the Chargers are feeling good about themselves having been the Raiders, but most teams feel that way when you beat up on on the Raiders team. I mean, we've seen it from the
Yeah.
Cowboys lately. We saw it from the Broncos. But I think the narrative here is the fact that everybody's kind of jumping, out of out from the Eagles bandwagon, which is kind of surprising. I get it, like their fan base is super, volatile where if things are bad, things are really bad, and you've seen it where Kevin Patullo and that offense has been terrible. And I get it, they haven't been able to run the ball with Saquon Barkley, and as you mentioned, like then they start trying to get the ball to AJ Brown, and they've lost now 2 in a row, and so there's no, and then even the defense now kind of got exposed being able to, teams being able to run on them. And I just think like eventually the it's either they're gonna put it together or we're gonna get the same team we saw from 2 years ago where they just are like, hey, we're not gonna change anything about us and we're gonna go down with the ship. And so it just feels like the talent is there to be able to like, hey, if we need to reach for it, let's go and get it. And I just the thing is with the Chargers, they're so beat up. That offensive line is still really bad. They did that's another one where, talk about, just being, hard headed and not changing their center, not changing things around on that offensive line. I know Charger fans are upset because they just refuse to change dudes in that offensive line too. So I uh, I'm with you. I it just feels like if you putting Herbert out there, it just tells you how desperate things are right now, that the Chargers are, because they know that that schedule down the stretch is hard and they know they need wins. And so if Herbert's out there, that just tells me that they're super desperate for wins because they know that the rest of the way is tough. If you go with Trey Lance and it tells you, hey, we like what we have in this team and we feel okay with Trey Lance out there. So that to me is the narrative, but I'm with you. I'm going with the Eagles here at -3. Let me have we have a couple more here. Delbert says at the general statement for this time of the season, which teams will lose first and jeopardize their playoff chances down to the wire. Gotta love it. So that's to the point. Like, at what point are you? Hey, do we go all in here with Herbert, or do we jeopardize the rest of our season? And then Gerardo says the Eagles' offense is trash. I'm sure Mincher can figure out a way to stop them. I think this game is going to go on the Chargers' offense. So, yeah, there you go.
We'll see. I don't
Let's
know. I just think the one hand thing is going to be an issue, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. I think, we'll talk more about it on Monday. Whether it's the post game show or with What's Up Bulls, but I'm intrigued by this game. It'll be interesting. These are two teams that really need a win in this game, and so uh, we're gonna find out where both of them are come Monday night. All right, Gilbert. Let's get to our Super Dog contest. Week 14 pick. Gilbert, you killed it last week with that uh Bears in a good way. I mean, you did really well. You got your Super Dog contest pick. You went 4-1 on your best bet. So as you talked about it in your introduction here of the show, you did really well. What do you got for us this week? And if you want to explain for people what we do here with our Super Dog contest, week 14 pick.
Yeah, we bet on an underdog that is getting spotted at least 4.5 points or more. We tend to go over that, like 5.5 and above. That's kind of the okay, look yourself in the mirror line. Even though these are all dogs, like it's okay, but we just haven't been going 4.5. We go over that. Last
Yep.
week I got the Bears who were getting spot 6.5 points, and they won outright, so that was 10 points for me. If they cover, it's 5 points. If it's a push, you get 1 point. So, yeah, the dogs were barking last week for me, and they came through, which is good because I usually go with the teams with the plus sign. So that paid off for me in a big way here, and yeah, let's get to it here, and I'll be quick with mine. Uh, yeah, for my super dog this week, I'm going with the Bengals plus 5.5 versus the Buffalo Bills here. I just can't trust the Bills off of one game. I know they beat up on the Steelers, but what does that mean? This team, I'm not forgetting how they got beat up by Houston. I'm not forgetting how they lost to Miami and couldn't beat Miami into the fourth quarter of the first game, and they couldn't cover in that game. Is what I was trying to say. So to me, like, and I'll shout out my colleague Connor Orr for this one. I think the Buffalo Bills have been one of the most disappointing teams in football because this is their year. This is set up for them to be the experienced team. But you're letting Denver up top. You're letting New England within your own division to be up top. You already lost that team. Kansas City is nowhere to be found. Lamar Jackson's not the same quarterback this year. And they also didn't have a tough schedule. That's what you get for playing in the AFC East. You're supposed to get a cupcake, and they're not
Hmm.
winning these games. So to me, I could definitely see how everybody's back on the Bills because they beat the Steelers. But to me, I was impressed with Joe Burrow. I know he was a little shaky in the first half, But that's because he didn't have T. Higgins and had to rely more on his young receivers who weren't on the same page. And I'm like, this guy came to play right away. And then the second half took over. So to me, maybe the Bills don't. Maybe the Bills win and the Bengals don't win. But I could see a close game here. Two good quarterbacks going at it. Why not? Give me plus 5.5 Bengals.
Yeah, we're gonna be on opposite side on this game. I'll talk about it when I get to my best bets here. I'll keep it quick with mine, Gilbert. We talked about it earlier. I like the Bears in this, so I'm gonna make it my super dog this week. I'm the lone wolf on our picks. Usually, when one of us goes with a lone wolf, we usually do well with our picks. So I'm gonna write the Bears here. I feel like I already talked about why, and so it was just an easy. I thought you were gonna take them here, but I understand you. You're gonna have them as one of your best bets. So
Yeah.
I like where we're at here, but at least we agree on this one, which kind of I'm like, man, maybe it's a bad thing that we both agree. We usually do better when we're on the opposite side of things. So yeah.
Well, if it makes you
And
feel bad, I don't think they win this game, and that's why I couldn't put them in
yeah,
my. Like, I want to get greedy. I think the Bengals could
yeah.
beat the Bills.
Hey, especially after the week you had last week and talking about that, now you're at 146 points to my 137. I mean, you went 4-1, plus you picked up those 10 points on that super dog. So I think you cleared 23 points last week because
Freaking
of it.
Browns!
So
That could have been perfect.
that's crazy, man. Like that's how this game can flip. And we have what, a couple weeks left. So it's gonna go down to the wire to see. Last year I was able to beat you, but yeah, this one it's gonna be close till the end, Gilbert. So let's get to our betting locks of the week here. Let's start off with your bets for week 14. What do you got for us, Gilbert?
Yeah, and just for the game, how we're playing here, the
Yes.
point scale, it's 5 points for the first one, 4 points for the next, 3 points, and so on. So for my 5 pointer, I already talked about this one. It seems like easy money, and I checked to see if it's something wrong here, any red flags that I should be looking at. No, the coast is clear. Go Texans plus 3.5 versus the Chiefs. I'm taking them. I don't care.
Okay, number 4.
This one is a sneaky play. I think the Vikings are just really bad. They can't figure out their quarterback situation. I like the way the Commanders show hard against Bo Nix and those Broncos. People like the Broncos here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Mariota, I think it was decent enough. I think they'll keep it close here. Commanders plus 2.5. This Kevin O'Connell, coaching wizard thing you people have been waiting for. He's gonna get it. He's gonna figure it out. It's not happening this year. So give me the Commanders.
3.
Yeah, this one I already touched on. I think the Lions -3, mostly because everybody's on the Cowboys. I'm gonna go the other way.
Okay. Number 2.
This one I really like because I don't like Kirk Cousins at all. There might not be no Drake London, like I mentioned in that Jets Falcons game. It's pretty much 1 against 11. Bijan's doing all the work, and now you're playing it like this is not the Jets. This is the Seahawks here. So I'm expecting like a 30-point beatdown or maybe like 20. I don't know. Seahawks -7 here.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent from this matchup because I have both of them in my wins. So I'm like, whoever wins this game, I get a win. So I'm good there. All right, you're number 1.
Yeah. So I couldn't find another bet I really liked, and like I mentioned, I do like the number. Like if it would have been -5.5 Packers, I probably would have taken the Packers here, but I don't like to have that many minuses in my top five. So it's plus 6.5. Give me the Bears here for 1 point. I'm not that confident in it. You're much confident in that one, but I'll take them here for the points.
Yeah, and we'll get to Brian's question there. I want to get to it. Let me go quick here with my 5 bets. I like the Bills. And I know what you said that they're the one of the most disappointing teams. You're right. But I feel like they finally found something, Gilbert. Like, I know there's been talk about Brady perhaps losing his job, the offensive coordinator there, just because we saw what happened a couple years ago with the former offensive coordinator there. But it seems like they find the running game. Like if you're able, like, and what's crazy is that they refuse to. They didn't want to pay. Is it Cooks or Cook? Is it Cook?
James Cook, yeah.
James Cook. They didn't want to pay him at the beginning or of the offseason. They finally ended up paying him. And it's honestly been like when they commit to James Cook and running the ball which they did against the Steelers, they win games. It's like it's either Allen or Cooks, and it just feels like you need to run the ball. And if you're able, you finally found your identity for this season, then stick to it, and you can beat the Bengals here. And so I'm gonna keep rolling. They got me the 5 points last week, so I'm that kind of person where if you show me that you're finally figured something out, then I'm gonna roll with you, especially when it comes to the
It's the
betting
thing with
angle
that,
of
Vic,
this.
is like they always go back and forth. Josh Allen
Yes,
hero, run the football. Josh Allen hero, run the football. They have not figured out what they want to do. There's no commitment to it, and I'm not gonna fall
yeah,
for 1 week. So I get the Bengals are the Bengals and they suck,
yep,
but I just like the points there a lot. It's just this Bills team. There's a reason why they can't get over the hump, and they just don't have the coaching. It's kind of plain
yeah.
and simple sometimes, you know. But I get it here. We'll be different here.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going here with the Eagles -3. I really like I said, I don't understand why this line isn't bigger than this. So you're giving me 3 points here against the Chargers. Like I said, I think it's going to be Trey Lance, but I could be wrong. Even if it's Herbert, I just think the Eagles, like, they have the talent. They're the most talented team in the league. The coaching just isn't there right now. But like I said, I think the narrative, everybody's gonna jump off the bandwagon here with the Eagles, so I'm gonna take the Eagles here. My number two is the Texans here is +3.5. We already talked about why we like the Texans in this game. My number two is the Browns 4.5. The Titans are just done. Like they packed it in. They want to get the number one pick. They want to trade that number one pick to get even more picks. So continue to tank here if you're the Titans. And then the Browns, they just need something. They wanna get some wins for Kevin Stefanski so he doesn't get fired. So I like them at home. They play much better. And then my number one, I'm taking a chance here with the Jaguars at +1.5 here against the Colts. I know they've been up and down, but it just feels like they might have found something. Even with Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball away here, having three interceptions against the Cardinals. He comes back and he plays well against the Time last week. I just feel like they're gonna make the playoffs. I know nobody wants to see them in the playoffs, but at this point, that's just what it's looking like, Gilbert. I don't know if you have any of those. If you have any
Yeah.
comments on any of those before we move
Honestly,
on.
I don't like the Browns one because the Browns ones should not be a favorite against anybody like that. But like honestly, if it wasn't if I was looking at this blindly and I didn't see the team and I'm like it would if it was any other team besides Tennessee, I would have taken the other team because you cannot lay four and a
Yep,
half against
I'm
for
with you.
Cleveland. But Tennessee's that bad, so I can't knock you for that.
Yeah, and then to the question here, I would I'm sure you agree with this. Who is the upset of the week, gentlemen? Straight up, it's the Texans, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, I sometimes it's if it's easy money and there's something fishy, you're gonna get burned. But I feel like I checked enough to know this team is not that good. Kansas City, that is.
Yeah, and then he says for him, his sleeper is
Hey,
Cincinnati this week. So there you go. He's with
yeah,
you on that
last year they
one.
were 4-8 and they won out. They didn't make the playoffs, but they won out. So maybe they do the same thing here where they miss the playoffs again.
Yep. All right, let's get to our quick hitters. But before we do that, I gotta let the people know which teams are on a bye week. Especially, I know there's a lot of talk this week with bye weeks, especially in week 14, as you're trying to get, especially when it comes to fantasy teams. The Patriots, the Giants, the Panthers, and the 49ers are on a bye. Make sure you have you made plans to pick up some players in the wire here because there's a lot of good players out there who are going to be on a bye this week.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my pet peeves of having the final week of the regular season of fantasy football have bye weeks. 4 teams on a bye week. So let's get that
Yeah.
together.
Especially when you didn't have any bye any teams on a bye in week 13. I didn't
Yeah.
understand that, but I know it's Thanksgiving weekend and you need to make sure you have as many games as possible to take advantage of all the eyeballs that you're going to have during that week. All right, Gilbert, let's go to our quick hitters real quick. Miami Dolphins at the New York Giants. Who do you got here?
This is a tough one. 2 teams that were bad or not, are now playing better. Mike McDaniel, Aaron Glenn. They have something. So I'll just take the home team. Give me the Jets +2.5.
All right. I would take the Jets at home as well. Uh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 6 point favorites. The over under here is 42 and a half.
Yeah, I can't believe it's gotten to the point where I'm looking at the Steelers like the Titans or how I used to look at the Jaguars. I want no part of them. Like I like the number for Pittsburgh, I really do, because Baltimore has not been good for a while. Like the only time they've been good since Lamar came back was the second half in Miami. That's it. But I can't get behind Pittsburgh, so stay away game for sure. But I'll take Baltimore here.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens here. I forgot to tell you a story yesterday. So we went to. I'll be quick here. We went to Costco, and then somebody, one of the workers there on the self checkout, was looking at the at my hat. I had my hat. I always wear my hat when I'm out. And then Megan was like, "Yeah, it's a podcast. You should check it out. They talk all sports." And then like for the rest of the time, he just kept coming over, and he's like, "Yeah, man, Tomlin sucks." Like he's hasn't been good for a long time. He's a Steelers fan. He is done with Tomlin. He's like everybody keeps saying that he keeps all the winning all these games and stuff like that, but like we're done with him and just yeah, like Steeler fans are done with
Kind of
Tomlin.
bad.
So it just goes to show he like it was a time where like somebody was trying to ask for help and he kept coming over and he's like kept telling me about the Steelers and I'm like, I'm with you, man. He's like, can you believe we have the most expensive defense? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I get it. So I wanted to share that. I forgot to bring that up yesterday. All right, Gilbert. New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucks are 8.5 point
Ooh,
favorites. The over under here is 42 and a half.
this is a high number. I know the are better now or healthier, but the Saints stink. I don't know why I'm doing this. Give me the Saints. I just like the number for them.
Man, they cost me a win last week. The Saints did with all their crap at the end there, and I'm just staying away from this game. But I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game, though.
Yeah, for
Last
sure.
game of the week, the most boring game out there is the Broncos at the Raiders. The Broncos are 7.5 point favorites. The over under here is 40 and a half.
Yeah, I always ask the odds makers, what's the liability game of the week? What's the one you're going to be sweating? The one that you feel like the public's gonna, just take all your money. And he said this one, like, and it's gotten to the
Yeah.
point where Raider fans who tend to support are out. Like they're done with this team. They're not going to support. It's all Denver money. And he said, I have no faith in the Raiders to cover this line here. We're probably going to lose a bunch of money on this game. So yeah, I'll. It's just Denver is hard to cover to this big line, especially what they just did to Washington. But it's the Raiders. Give me Denver here. It's a really high number. I'd rather stay away, but just for the sake of picking something, I'll go Denver.
I'm with you on Denver, but Fernando did say that he thinks the Raiders are beating the Broncos in this game. So I want to
Yeah.
make
Last
sure
time
we
he
put
said
it
I'll
out
keep it
there.
close, and he was right. So maybe he's right here again.
Yeah, and he's been hitting on a lot of his even though he's not on the show here, he has mentioned some of those upsets. So keep an eye on this one. If it's an upset here by the Raiders, we got to give Fernando uh his due here. That's a good question. Shula to Buffalo. Do you see that, Chris Shula? Perhaps
No,
if they
because Josh Allen has been with a defensive minded coach and Sean McDermott, and they have not gotten the job done. They're gonna go offense all day for sure.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about this. I do want to, we'll talk about some of the candidates out there. From what I'm hearing, it's kind of like the quarterbacks coming out of college this year. There's not a lot of good coaching candidates out there, so it'll be interesting if we don't have as many firings as we think they will. But honestly, like the way it's been going, I think there's been an average of at least 8 this decade. So, yeah, just something to keep an eye on, Gilbert. But that is for another day. That takes care of all the games, Gilbert. Yeah, like great job here with we'll keep an eye on some of these games. I know the Bears and Packers is a big one, but I think for week 14 we got a good games and hopefully we can keep going. I mean, Thanksgiving was probably the best week of football we've had so far. So especially with you and your success that you had last week, maybe we see more dogs barking out there.
Yeah, hopefully there was some good competitive games, and That's something we've been waiting for the NFL. But all right, time to get going here. I appreciate everybody joining the show here. We haven't been doing it live, and now I'm glad that we're doing it live because we saw all these comments here. So thank you for joining us. Uh, and then Angel said, if Fernando hits on the Raiders, you better have his ass on the next show. And hopefully he has what's up bolts for you this week. I don't know when that is, but stay locked in for House of Horns in about 10 minutes here. So Rams against Cardinals. So we'll talk about that. But thank you for joining the show here and check out everything we're doing on Compass on the Beat. We got a bunch of videos uploading from the interview with Eric D. Williams. So check that out. So yeah, no update on what's up, Bo to Angel. He pretty much said he's gonna try to get Eric on the show and do something. So I would think maybe Thursday, but we'll try to find out. But
We will
time
be
to get going
on.
here.
Yeah, we will be on post game show. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that update we can
Yeah,
tell you.
we'll do like a post game show, but I don't know about a preview. But Fernando sounded like he's going to commit to it. It's also he has time. It's a Monday Night Football game, so let's get out of here. See some people in a bit for House of Horns. Check out everything we're doing at Copas on the Beat. Time to get going. Y nos vamos, pues, vámonos.